that the world at large is simply a better place, or would simply be a better place without Target.
Illuminati is a thing you need to watch out for. They want to depopulate and slave us so much more. World domination, I'll get into that later. I'm hardcore, fierce and sexy. You're just a hater. You deserve the ridicule because you're an absolute zero. I'm the keeper of the chalice, a rock and roll hero. I'm not an idiot nobody listens to, because I'm not a failure in life like you. Let's talk about Bill Gates and the mark of the beast, and the orgies in the streets at the Catholic feasts, and Bill and Hillary's human trafficking ring, and George Soros got the money to pay for everything. Socialism is for losers, working for the devil, chumps that can't fight, they ain't on my level. It takes an evil one to try to debunk and doubt it, so I'd rather die than stop talking about it. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out for the Illuminati. Watch out for the Illuminati.
Target, 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 Target is at it again. It's not enough that some of their stores have been burned down. It's not enough that the low sales have caused some of their stores to be shut down. They are pushing the gender agenda even further. And there's something that it's not only morally wrong, but it's inherently evil about what they're doing. And I said this before. And none of you wanted to believe me. Or I should say, there were actually some who believed me, but there were some in the brood out there that did not want to believe me. I was the very first person to make a connection between Target's CEO and Balenciaga. Now, Balenciaga, for those of you who don't know, is a European brand of clothing that started out on high-end clothing, but since their stock is plummeting because of the news coming out there of all kinds of pedos and child groomers being involved with their advertising, with their executive board, with everything. There was a motion, there was literally a motion or an attempt, or at least a thought entertained of Balenciaga merchandise being sold at Target. Which, yes, you know, I mean, you could see authentic Chanel or Christian Dior stuff or anything like that being sold in a Target, but you could see these places having their own stores and having their merchandise sold very expensively at Macy's or something like that. And Balenciaga was considered on that level, or in some cases even higher. They were considered like the Bugatti of fashion. And what happens, you know, all the stuff of staff members being exposed, that their celebration of allowing sexually explicit cartoons to be published, and fictional stories of child grooming to be put out there, and that sort of thing. and that comes out, people who aren't with that stop buying Balenciaga and even burn whatever they did buy. And the level of which they get their clientele starts to come down. Now you have people that don't know the whole story behind Balenciaga and don't know of the child groomers involved with Balenciaga, that know that this is considered like this reputable brand and whatnot. And they'll be like, oh, affordable Balenciaga shit, let me buy that. Not knowing the backstory behind it with the child groomers involved with Balenciaga. And so, why am I saying this? Because the litmus test was put out there by Target to usher in Balenciaga. And yes, the merchandise that they attempted to sell in May in celebration for Pride Month coming in June was not to celebrate a particular demographic or the acquisition of rights and human rights by a particular demographic of the population. It was to use that demographic of the population and their plight for rights as a gateway for something most of its own members would not even approve of, which is child grooming, and the brand name that now epitomizes child grooming, even more so than your Universal Zulu Nation, Balenciaga. And granted, there are members of the Universal Zulu Nation that are not down with pederast behavior as its founder, Africa Bambaataa. And there are lots of people who believe in the surface cause behind the Universal Zulu Nation. I'm not talking about those people, the people that really do believe that its initial purpose was for peace, unity, love, having fun, keeping the community tight, keeping children away from violence and drugs, you know, teaching them how to break dance instead of gang banging. You know, yes, there are members of the Universal Zulu Nation that believe in that, and they're well within their right to believe in that. And I'm very sorry that those people have been misled by its leader, or former leader, Africa Bambaataa, who is actually their shadow leader in real life. Those principles are just and right principles to believe in. And it would have been a great thing if the Universal Zulu Nation was really founded on those principles and genuinely founded on those principles, but it wasn't. And I believe the YouTuber that refers to himself as Baby Biggs was right in saying that Africa Bambaataa is like a reverse drug dealer that formed this seemingly well-intended entity just so he could selfishly pick and choose which same-sex minor to molest. And, you know, it's unfortunate that there are people that are not about that, that are part of a unit that was founded because of that, and went their whole lives not realizing that, or didn't believe the rumors of it, and so forth. So for those of you who who call themselves Zulus, that are on the moral higher ground, I am not talking about you, of course, but it is unfortunate because of the behavior of the founder of what you're part of, if you're out there listening, that this organization that you've been a part of all these years is now associated with the behavior of its founder, Afrika Bambaataa, and it's very unfortunate. I feel very bad about that, but I'm not talking about you individuals as a person who are moral and ethical that have been part of that organization, but the name of it is unfortunately associated with that, and that's what I'm saying. However, even worse than that, the brand that's even more associated with that nowadays is the Balenciaga clothing brand. And Target wanted to usher in Balenciaga clothing to kind of help Balenciaga still stay on the map, to keep Balenciaga from spiraling out of business altogether, even though it should. And because of Target's treatment of me personally, and because of its attempts to keep Balenciaga alive, using methods like this litmus test, this child grooming litmus test of off-brand clothing targeting children, Target as well should spiral out of business. The world at large, I'm telling you this. Believe me when I tell you this. I'm on a very, very, very anti-Target stance. I despise Target for what it stands for. It does not stand for moral family activities and shopping for all these popular brands of clothing and other things sold at Target, electronics, tangible means of music other than digitally and through the internet. Excuse me. So, what I am saying here is that Target shouldn't be, period. Target should not exist, period. And by that, I definitely mean that the world at large is simply a better place, or would simply be a better place without Target. I said this before. Excuse me again. I said this before and I'll say this again. Target is gross. Target is evil. Target is of the devil. Target is the most responsible for the death of George Floyd, even more so than Derek Chauvin, who committed the actual physical act of murder of George Floyd. And now it's coming to light, as I was saying to you guys before, that goes along with Target is evil, Target is of the devil. Target is all about child grooming. Target's all about child grooming. They want to usher in the Balenciaga brand and they ran into an obstacle when parents protested against this litmus test of off-brand child groomer attire. And so they're pulling back. They're getting some criticism from Gary Newsom. And so now they're getting criticized from the left. They've been criticized from the right for a long enough time now. But now they're getting that criticism from the left by guys, fanatics. Yes. You ordered me lunch. This must be the lunch. Pulling up. This car with no plates on it is delivering me lunch. I cannot conclude this video. It's time for lunch. Respect God. Watch out for the Illuminati. Follow me everywhere on the interwebs. Stay strong. Keep kicking that slang. This is your boy in the building. MC Too Tall. Target is evil.